As you've already heard this morning, we are fortunate to live in a community, San Mateo County, that values education. Time and time again, voters up and down the peninsula and throughout San Mateo County have been asked to support bonds and parcel taxes to help our public schools, and they have replied, for the most part, with a yes. Education foundations raise money for our schools. Businesses, large and small, offer support. And as you will learn from our next panel, which is getting ready to assemble, two of our largest employers are making significant investments that are setting the standard for corporate support and in the process disrupting concepts of philanthropy and shifting how and what students are taught. Rosanne Foust, President and CEO of SAMCEDA, will lead the conversation, and I just want to give a personal major thank you to Rosanne and SAMCEDA, who do all sorts of work behind the scenes that make today possible. So thank you so much, Rosanne. Let me turn it over to Rosanne Foust and SAMCEDA, who will be moderating our panel.
Thank you, Kevin, and thank you, Warren, because it's really their vision that has made Connect for the last 4 years happen. So we have two fabulous speakers. If you have not downloaded the app, I'm going to really encourage you to do it because their bios are on there. They're fantastic, and you can figure out which one likes to ride horses and which one likes to fly planes. So it's a challenge for you. And it could be the same person, just saying. So Ragnar is going to start.
Great.
And I'm actually gonna step down here while you two are talking. Or do you want to move? No, that's perfect.
Okay. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity here. Last night, I could not sleep because I was so excited. So if I do fall off of this chair, you'll know why. But my name is Ragnar von Schiber. I'm from Genentech. And I will jump in here today. We're going to be talking about Future Lab, which is Genentech's commitment to science education in the South San Francisco Unified School District. And a little bit about Genentech. So we were founded 40 years ago. We are credited with founding the biotech industry. We are located in South San Francisco with about 9,000 of our total 14,000 employees at that site. And we're really about the discovery and the development and the bringing to market of medicines for gnarly diseases that are out there. And we have about 35 different medications right now on the market. So, press the wrong button here. So what I want to talk about is that science. And our science is what really drives our business. And our love for science is what I'd really like to talk about today as we are sharing that love of science with South San Francisco Unified School District as part of Future Lab. 2 years ago, we embarked on a pretty amazing journey with the school district. And I'm one of three people really in this room. Two of the folks from South San Francisco Unified could also do this presentation. And it's so exciting to see that the collaboration between the public sector and education and corporations working together so closely. So Future Lab goals, what we're looking to do is bring science alive for students K through 12 in the public school system of South San Francisco Unified. You know, we're looking to share that science in our backyard, right where we are, with the district that's there. It's a district that's great. You know, education is really important, but there are some challenges to South San Francisco district. And we really want to share biotech with the next generation so that the next generation of innovators and scientists will be coming to work at Genentech. We're really about those career paths. We're committed to making those career paths happen for local youth. And diversity in STEM is of vital importance for us as we get more brains, different perspectives, thinking to help solve big problems out there. And finally, employees, and this is the big piece here for me, is engaging those employees in doing great stuff and really loving the company that they're working for. So a couple of tenets for Future Lab. One is hyperlocal. And we talk about this as a key tenet for Future Lab. Our partnership with one school district, one public school district, I think is quite unique. It is something that we haven't seen yet, and something that we're really excited to be championing. Hands-on STEM. We know that kids are excited to learn. They're excited to learn when the content is exciting and when they're able to engage in that content, right? We're also really looking at hands-on STEM as a way to activate and engage students of all levels, those who are succeeding and those who are not succeeding, because that's really important to turn those kids around and to keep the kids who are engaged, continue to have them be engaged. The third piece of our puzzle really is around mentoring and the value that it brings on both sides of the equation. For kids, and especially the kids that we're working with, it's a real opportunity for them to visualize themselves in potential roles and as potential future adults and workers. It's also an amazing opportunity for our employees to give back and to really see the impact one-on-one with the students that they are helping. So important on both sides of the equation. And then finally, the fourth factor is, Future Lab was built in South San Francisco for South San Francisco by South San Francisco Unified School District and Genentech, right? And this is the key piece here is really the listening ear, the collaboration that we have been able to achieve together with the district. So what is Future Lab? I'm going to just showcase a couple of the signature programs that we have, which are really K through 12 STEM education, age-appropriate science, hands-on. In elementary school, we look at Gene Academy, and Gene Academy is our on-site mentoring program that's getting kids excited about science, right? So they come wide-eyed and eager. We know that kids are coming to, they're not missing Mondays at their school, right? Because they know on Mondays they're going to Gene Academy afterwards. It's an after-school program. Helix Cup is our middle school flavor of program. And this is where kids are learning that they can do science. It's about engaging students in science. And this is the time, 8th grade, 50% of all kids lose interest in science in 8th grade, right? So this is an 8th grade science competition, not for the best and brightest, but for every student in South San Francisco Unified School District. And then the third piece of the third major signature program that we have as part of Future Lab is Science Garage. And this is really where we expose students to the opportunities of science and the potential of how they might work in science. It's about a biotech curriculum that we are working with the district, a 4-year biotech curriculum, and also a Science Garage, which is a state-of-the-art teaching facility where biotech will be taught within the school district. I want to give you just a quick flavor of each of those three components here. Gene Academy is a pretty magical thing. We have 200 kids, 3rd through 5th grade, mostly English language learners, about 60%, mostly Latino, about 80%, coming on campus every Monday in school buses. They arrive with their backpacks, which are way too big for them. And they come and fill to capacity our 2 major cafeterias. We have 400 employees who on a weekly basis are going to those cafeterias and meeting one-on-one with the same students, 2-on-1, I should say, with the same students, doing alternating between everyday homework help, math and English, and science, fun science, engaging science experiments, which are part of shock and awe and excitement, where you got fire extinguishers or dry ice or things like that, bottle rockets. And this is a place where, a lot of these kids don't have one-on-one time with an adult. A lot of their parents are immigrant families, who are working 2 to 3 jobs, and this is a really valuable time where they're having not just 1 but 2 employees and adults really looking to them and seeing how they can help them, teach them, also mentor them, and just be a friend for them. Helix Cup. a science competition, right? Many companies have science competitions for the best and the brightest, right? This is a competition for every student. And it's not just a science competition that is really moving the muscles of science. It's really about teamwork. It's about collaboration. It's about communication, right? Students are in teams of 3 or 4. And together they do design challenges, and there's 4 of those design challenges that span the entire second semester for students. Every 8th grader is participating, and this year we're gonna have about 200 volunteer coaches who go to the classrooms and are there coaching the students. Why are you doing that? What do you think is gonna happen if you do this? What's your idea for how to solve the problem that you're seeing right now? This is about failure. This is about trial and error. This is about persistence and resilience and grit and all of those things that we know our education system should be building the muscles of our students for. It's also about shock and awe. It's about meaningful and magnetic experiences. How many of you guys have done an egg drop previously, right? Sure, right? How many of you have done it from an industrial scissor lift, like 40 feet in the air, and have your principal drop, your egg? This is really about, kids getting excited about, forgetting themselves and really, using all of their brain and all of their skills to solve challenges. Some feedback from last year that I think is really fun to see. 51% of students, and we've got lots of data, but I'm just showcasing this around this one particular program that we've got. 51% thought science was cooler, right? Because we know in 8th grade, coolness is the most important thing, right? 100% of teachers thought that teamwork and collaboration and skills like that, the 4 C's, were really increased. 47% of students gained interest in a job in science, right? 9th grade, only 9% of kids will choose a science degree moving forward. So this is, again, a place to really move the needle. 98% of coaches said they would coach again. Lower left, I'm not sure if this was more fun for me or the student, but it was a blast, right? So that's where an employee is really saying, wow, this is meaningful and magnetic, not just for the kids, but also for me, and I want to do it again and again. And then on the right, Helix Cup was the best thing we've done the entire school year. Can't we just do more of this, right? So fun stuff. What's next? Science Garage is up and coming. We are now building. This is a photo, hard to see, but this is a photo of Science Garage, which is a state-of-the-art teaching facility that Genentech is building. $7.8 million donation that we are building on the grounds of South San Francisco High School. We will be turning that over to the school district. We are together creating, like I said, a 4-year curriculum on biotechnology. Right now we have about 800 kids who are taking this in the pilot year. About 650 are doing that as part of a 4-week curriculum embedded within biology. Every student is taking that. And about 180 kids are taking Biotech 1 and 2, which is a full year class. As we develop 3 and 4, and then in senior year, capstone projects are going to be done, which maybe will be including internships as well. So, and by next year, when this Science Garage opens, we're going to have over 1,000 students are going to be taking some flavor of biotech within South San Francisco Unified. This year, we're going to be piloting our new volunteer program that's going to be going into Science Garage. We'll probably do about 30 or 40 employees will be helping out, and we'll be scaling that in 2017. So super exciting. Some other Future Lab highlights, just really quickly. I told you about 3 of the signature programs, but there's also other programs and activities that we do to support schools, teachers, and students, and that's Donors Choose. Every teacher within the school district gets a $500 annual grant from Genentech. Professional development is paid for by Genentech for science teachers in middle school and high school. All field trips for science classrooms in middle school and high school. And we're also bringing about 100 volunteer chaperones to go with the students there. 2 scholarships for $50,000 per for 4 years go to 2 of the students from every year to the high schools, and then we have over 1,300 volunteers per year giving about 25,000 hours across these many and varied programs. And the success factors, again, I can't belabor this more. It's really the partnership with South San Francisco Unified, where we have co-designed this. We have helped build the capacity of the district so that there's a teacher on special assignment who is able to support a lot of the programming that's going into this. We've created an incredible listening and collaborative approach, continuously learning. We meet on all levels of the district, across all of our projects on a continuous and constant basis. And we've really come together we are coming together to create shared outcomes and what we're really looking to accomplish here. So, and I think that is it. I don't have time necessarily. 1 minute and a half, can I do it? All right, you'll see.
My name is Stephanie Romero, and this is El Camino High School.
I'm Kelsey Woods, and I go to South San Francisco High School.
And we're going to be job shadowing at Genentech.
The campus is beautiful. I've seen it.
I know that they have a DNA-shaped road when you look at it from above.
We bring kids from South San Francisco high schools to come here to Genentech to learn about what life is like here at Genentech. So they walk in, they sign up. Of course, it wouldn't be a Genentech event without t-shirts and some swag. The primary focus of what we do here is to get these kids to participate in what we call career encounters. So we have 8 functions. The kids will actually rotate through at least 3 of them, and they get some hands-on experience of what life is like in those functions. We hope that it's a real engaging day for the students.
I was excited, but I never thought I would be this hands-on.
As you can see, I'm dressed in the lab coat. It's really fun.
It's really eye-opening. I found out that my interest in sociology and psychology might actually really benefit me here.
When I was coming in, I really didn't know what to expect.
I don't know what I thought it was going to be like, but I'm so excited I came here.
It was a really good experience. I didn't think I'd take this much away.
Learning all the different fields that there are today.
I'm more ready to go into the job field.
The facility is amazing. The people are so giving, and it was just a great environment to be in.
So the takeaway is kind of maybe I do have a job opportunity here. They really want to help people, and I want to be able to help people the way everyone here does.
If I could come here every day, I would.
As a company, we're so proud to be able to give back to the community and really to be able to support the schools and to support the next generation, hopefully, of scientists that will find a cure for cancer.
Great job, analytical team. Good job.
Thank you, Ragnar and Genentech.
Super cool.
So we are now going to have Colleen Cassity from Oracle.
So super cool. Loved hearing about what Genentech is doing. And there's so many commonalities in terms of what we're doing. Let me see if I can make friends with this clicker here. Oops. Whoa. Uh-oh.
My name is Stephanie Romero.
There we go. Okay. So my name is Colleen Cassity. I'm the executive director of the Oracle Education Foundation, and I also oversee philanthropy more generally for Oracle. And I want to do a few things here today. So first, I'm going to share with you a video that talks about a really special public-private partnership that we've embarked upon over the last couple of years, including the Oracle Education Foundation, Oracle itself, the enterprise, Design Tech High School, two school districts, San Mateo and Sequoia Union High School districts, San Mateo County Office of Education, Redwood City, the Bay Conservation and Development Commission. I'm going to share a video with you about that, and then I'm going to zoom out a little bit to talk about Oracle's philanthropy globally to give you some context, and then spend the last few minutes talking about this public-private partnership in depth. So let's start with the video. Today is about celebrating the groundbreaking for Design Tech High School's new home at Oracle.
Today is going to make it real. We're going to be with shovels, we're going to be breaking ground, and everybody's just really excited.
The students, the parents, and faculty and staff of the school collaborated with Oracle and its architects, DES engineers, to design this school.
It's a first for a public school to be located on a corporate campus, so it's kind of a momentous day.
So not only will we be located here and have a great facility, but we'll have easy access to Oracle employees that can, if a student's stuck on some computer coding problem, they could email an Oracle volunteer and say, hey, could you help me with this? I say, oh yeah, at 2:30, I'll be over to help.
They will be creating, they will be making, they will be shaping. So their education, their learning won't be this abstract thing, it'll be applied. They'll really be solving problems that matter to them.
They had a part in actually designing their own school, and they worked with Oracle employees and top people in the design field to do that. They're not going to be intimidated the first time they step into a workplace.
This is an extraordinary public-private partnership, and in a lot of ways, I think it really represents the best of the Silicon Valley community. This is an example of positive disruption in education.
Just being in the new school is just, thinking about it, it's amazing because we have this whole new environment that supports us and supports our learning, and that's just so important in today's new world.
Our mission is to develop students who believe the world can be a better place, and if they can be the ones to make it happen. Oracle's building a school for DTech on its campus. No one would have predicted this in 2013 when Nicole and I were first gathering signatures for our petition, but here we are. As one parent told me, this was too big of a dream to even dream. I asked Safra, why was Oracle doing this? And she replied simply, because it's the right thing to do and because we can.
She loved the program and she loved the school. She pointed down to this very piece of land and said, I'm pretty sure we own that. We could build a school there. It was a moment when I stopped and thought to myself, something very, very special is happening right now.
To build a school that is sustainable, LEED certified, designed for a specific use. We make this available to this community, and we give this wonderful opportunity for Oracle employees to mentor and help guide students. The class that actually helped design the school are going to be able to actually go here.
The building is a physical embodiment of Design Tech's mission. It will be a living extension of Design Tech, and it will be able to inspire new generations of students for many years to come.
It is not only on its way to being the best high school in the country, but the best high school in the world. And I truly believe that this new school that Oracle is building us is taking us 100 steps closer to that goal.
It's fun, huh? All right, so now we're going to zoom out. All of Oracle's philanthropy focuses in 3 key areas. That is education, environment, and community. And this is globally. Oracle volunteers help to execute on that philanthropy by initiating volunteer projects with nonprofit and non-governmental organizations around the world. And about 90% of those Oracle volunteer projects are initiated by employees. This fine-looking group of folks who are a little scruffy and dirty looking are sitting on top of an 8-foot-high pile of ice plant, which is an invasive non-native species here in California, and they just ripped it out of Rodeo Beach with a nonprofit called Nature Bridge that does field science education. They are an example of more than 27,000 Oracle employees who volunteered in fiscal year 2016, working with over 500 organizations on more than 1,100 projects around the world. Oracle Giving, again, supports those same 3 dimensions of work. And in FY16, we gave $16.5 million in cash. We also matched more than $1 million in employee contributions, and we worked with 228 nonprofits and NGOs in 15 countries on programs that were both local and global education and environment programs. Here in the Bay Area, this is what it looks like. And hopefully you see some of your favorites on that list, including SAMCEDA, our host here today. Finally, the Oracle Academy is our in-kind donation program. We advance computer science education through the Academy by donating Oracle software and curriculum, mostly to higher education institutions, colleges, and universities. The annual value of that is in excess of $3.5 billion a year. And that includes the discount, by the way. It touches more than 3 million students in 110 countries. So that's the high level. And now I want to spend the next few minutes talking about the Oracle Education Foundation in a way that is pretty hyper-local at this point. The Oracle Education Foundation is a nonprofit organization funded by Oracle. It was founded in 2000, and I joined Oracle to start the foundation. What I can tell you is that the mission of the foundation has been very consistent throughout those 16 years, focused on digital inclusion and helping students develop technological fluency. That said, the way that we deliver on that mission has morphed 3 times, most recently in the spring of 2014, when we decided to develop a new mission program. We have a long relationship with Stanford University and with the D School at Stanford. How many of you know the D School at Stanford? The Hasso-Plattner Institute of Design, right? Where design thinking was codified into a notion that hopefully a lot of us are familiar with now. And so as design thinkers, we approached developing our new program as a design thinking exercise. So that meant we started doing empathy work with our users. And we knew one group of users right off the bat because our CEO, Safra Katz, said, I want our employees involved in students' educational experience. We have amazing people, and I want them to be part of this new program. That was her only requirement. We also knew that high school was a sweet spot for us. So what we did is gathered 50 people for 8 hours for a program design challenge. That was Oracle employees, it was representatives of 9 Bay Area high schools, and some nonprofit best practitioners working in STEM and STEAM. And we worked with them to really uncover their needs. We pushed past our assumptions about what those needs were or what the solutions were to find bolder ideas. And we had them help us rapidly prototype elements of a potential new mission program so that we could understand what really mattered to them, what they really cared about. And among the things that they really care about are authenticity in their students' educational experience, technical acumen, and this is not just fluency with using existing devices and software. This is the ability to use technology to create new solutions, even create new technology. Empathy, because the one thing technology cannot do is empathize with you. And if you're talking about creating solutions to problems, people are involved in problems. You need to be able to understand their perspective and their feelings, put yourself in their shoes. Grit. We share the common respect for grit. Students need to learn to persevere through difficulty and even failure and understand it as part of the path to success. It is something that is inevitable and even necessary if you're going to create something that has never existed before. So the much vaunted innovation that we all talk about all the time. Creative confidence. Creativity is not the domain of creative types. Any one of us can be creative and can be an innovator. And all of those abilities are what we aim to deliver on through the Oracle Education Foundation and the new program that it's been piloting with Design Tech High School for just going on 3 years now. We've just begun our 3rd year. So we engage Oracle employees as volunteer coaches, working with students, guiding them through multi-day, really immersive experiences at the intersection of STEAM disciplines and design thinking. Students learned code, they learned electrical engineering, electronics, they learned project management and human-centered design, and most importantly, they learned this from real practitioners. Students apply these skills to design challenges in a variety of domains, including wearable technology, Internet of Things, data visualization, and more. And we've begun piloting this program here very locally with Design Tech High School. So we plan to extend and scale this program to other Oracle communities in the future. But for the first few years, we're working exclusively with Design Tech High School. And you might remember that program development workshop that I talked about, the 9 schools represented. Among those participants were 4 founding members of Design Tech High School's faculty. They were extraordinary, and so was their model, a complete reinvention of high school. So as the name Design Tech implies, design thinking is part of the school's core curriculum. In addition, the school is modeled on 2 key concepts, which are extreme personalization and teaching students to put their knowledge into action. One of the primary ways that the school personalizes the student experience is through its intercession program. Lots of schools have intercessions. They look different in different places. At DTech, what this means is that 4 times a year, the entire school hits the pause button on its core curriculum so that students can take electives about which they are curious or passionate. And these electives are provided by the community, most of them, in their studios, in their offices, in their workshops. And this is obviously a perfect place for the Oracle Education Foundation's program to slot in. So when we proposed to Safra Katz, piloting the program with Design Tech High School and co-developing it with them, she was very excited. She thought it was a great idea, and she loved the model of the school. It all adds up to one of the most promising educational models we've seen anywhere in the world, and we've seen a lot. The thing that DTech lacked was a home. So the San Mateo Union High School District chartered DTech unanimously. They've been hugely supportive. What they didn't have was a facility that would really enable Design Tech High School to fulfill its full potential and evolve. As you heard in the video, we were able to provide a home. It's the right thing to do, and we can. So we are building a state-of-the-art, bespoke facility that was co-designed by the founding class of students, some of their parents, DTech educators, our architects and engineers, and Oracle, to be precisely the home that they need, including maximum flexibility for all the unforeseen ways in which we know the school will evolve. When Design Tech High School comes to the Oracle campus with 550 students and 30 staff in the 2017-2018 school year, it will be the only public high school in the United States located on a tech company's campus while remaining completely autonomous. And you can see this is the southern view. This is this grand heroic entrance with a view corridor all the way through to Foster City. And on the left, a 2-story makerspace called the Design Realization Garage. That's really the heart of the school. This is the view on the Belmont Slough side, and this across the water, seeing the whole context there. What all of this adds up to is a rather extraordinary public-private partnership that includes not only the entities whose logos are on this screen, so the 2 school districts who had to work collaboratively to agree on preferences and did that in a way that I think is completely unprecedented. Oracle the Enterprise, the Oracle Education Foundation, Design Tech High School, 2 nonprofits, again, San Mateo County Office of Education, Redwood City, the San Francisco Bay Conservation and Development Commission, who needed to approve waterfront development, all working in unison in a way that's highly strategic, that leverages the core competencies of each of us toward a much greater good. Thank you.
So it's now time to open it up for Q&A, but I want to ask a couple questions first. Before both Ragnar and Colleen's presentation, how many in the room had a little bit of knowledge about what Genentech and Oracle has done in terms of education? How many of you had really virtually none, that you weren't aware of what they were doing? Part of the goal of Connect, and frankly, one of the major roles of SAMCEDA as an organization, is really to connect the greater community with what business is contributing besides employees, traffic, and housing problems. I'm just going to put it out there. What you see from these 2 companies, these are Fortune 500. They are 2 of our major employers in San Mateo County. And each of them, in their own way, said, they answered the question that I was going to ask. which is, why do you do it? Because it's the right thing to do. Very simple. It's not complicated. They care about our kids, they care about education, and they have really put themselves out there. So my challenge to everyone in this room is, when you're in a conversation with your friends and neighbors, and it talks about all the traffic, all the issues where we don't have enough housing, kind of the quality of life, can you please just bring up these two examples? Because I think they go a long way to explaining a whole other level of the business community, and one that I'm not sure anyone in this room could not be proud of. So that's my ask to you, and I see people nodding their heads, and I very much appreciate it. We have time for Q&A. I was sitting over to the side, and I had to sit over to the side because I get so excited about both these presentations. I've seen them before. I was at the groundbreaking for Science Garage and DTech. These two individuals are probably two of my absolutely favorite people in the world, and I just was starting to shake. So I figured it was best if I sat over there. So we have time for Q&A. We're going to pass the mics around so we can make sure that we hear people. Please go ahead and ask your questions. This is usually not a shy crowd. There has to be someone, other than the fact that you're tweeting this information out or Facebooking it. Elisa McAvoy.
Yeah, hi. Thank you so much, and I'm really impressed with all the work that you're doing and how involved you are. And I got to go out for a schedule board visit at Genentech a few years ago, so thank you. I just wanted to ask, are you in circles with other big companies, small companies around here? Are you spreading the story of what you're doing? Because I think that would be helpful. We look around. There are some companies who are involved in education, and there's a lot who are not. So I think there's a real opportunity for them to help school districts. And I'm on the San Mateo County School Boards Association, and I'm a school board member in Redwood City, and I'm sitting around other school board members, and we would certainly welcome, for any of businesses that are in the room, any corporations, any one of us would welcome the kind of relationship that Genentech and Oracle have put together for individual school districts and schools. So thank you very much, and I'm just curious, what kind of conversations do you have with your peers in business?
Sure, I'll go first. So the culture at Genentech really is, first, let's do something, and let's actually see how that goes, and then we'll talk about it afterwards. We're not of the flavor that we make big proclamations of what we will do, and then we're really on the back end. We're far slower at that than we perhaps should be. I think our plan is really to become, an inspiration to other corporations and to other school districts. And we just won an award from US 2020 STEM Mentoring Award, which really recognized the private-public partnership that we have going with the district. And as part of our future work, we're really going to be showcasing that. That's what this event is, and others, both in the Bay Area as well as nationally. So, and we'd like to figure out ways to further enable other companies to do this hyperlocal approach beyond just the inspiration piece of hey, they did it, why can't we? We will, right? Which it is quite that simple in some ways.
And for the Oracle part of things, I can say that last year at Oracle Open World, which is our flagship technology conference up in San Francisco, it attracts more than 60,000 people a year. Safra Katz did a big reveal about this project, and she essentially, in a very polite way, threw down the gauntlet to Oracle customers and partners and said, folks, we are not just talking the talk, we are walking the walk with tens of millions of dollars invested in this facility and thousands of hours of our people's time. Oracle employees can volunteer up to 104 hours a year for the Oracle Education Foundation without any impact on their vacation or leave, and they have the blessing and the encouragement from the highest office in the company to do that. So we have been talking about it, and then we also talk very actively with members of the educational community here locally and in other parts of the world where we live and work and do business about the best projects and programs to invest in, and we do that longitudinally. So if we start funding a program and it's solid and growing and innovating, we tend to continue funding for a long time. There's nothing whimsical about our philanthropic investments.
Another question?
Thank you for your presentation and your great work. In the case of Genentech, for example, when you work with education entities or administrators, do you bring specific goals, or are they open to expand their, the curriculum, or how did it work in your experience?
Yeah, we bring a lot of humbleness when we come to education, because that's not our business, right? Our business is science and health outcomes. And so we really look to education and to our partners to really, that's the expertise that they bring, right? Together, we are coming up with the shared outcomes, which are going to be guiding both sides of the equation. I think we have a lot of common ground there with the district, and we're both very geared towards, let's get more kids, graduating. Let's get more kids college ready. Let's get more kids going to college. Get more kids excited about STEM, and passionate, finding their own particular passions, whether it's in STEM or not in STEM, right? So again, it's with that humbleness that we come and we follow, though we're also a very engaged partner in that determination of what are those goals we're looking to go after.
So our panel has come to a close because we're trying to keep it on time. So please thank Colleen and Ragnar.